There's a fire, but no fire brigade. So tonight we are losing this fight. Oh, so tonight is no one.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Livis World. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my celebrity encounters. I've only had a few of them, so it's not a long list. But the first time I ever met like a real celebrity, I guess, I don't know whether to count this, but I'm going to anyway. I don't know if anybody remembers the TV show High Five, but I'm gonna put a picture of them up here somewhere, probably here. But I was obsessed with that show. It was my favorite when I was younger. And one time I found out that they were coming to Boston and they were gonna have a concert. After that, they were like kind of just walking around. I think they were at like Faneuil Hall. Yeah, they were at Faneuil Hall, I think. They were just, you know, walking around after the show, so I got to meet a few of them. Sean gave me a hug and told me he loved me. Curtis told me I was cute because I was like 3. No, I was probably like 4. I think I met Jen. I think that's it. So I met 3 out of 5 of them. I was really convinced that I was going to, you know, befriend all of them, even though they were, you know, grown adults and I was a child. The second one is IM5. I've met them twice at this point. So I got tickets the first time to meet them for my birthday and I was so excited because I loved them. RIP. I'm sad they broke up because they did make bops. They were both at the Middle East in Boston, like in Cambridge. The first time I went with my friend Laura, and we walked into the venue and we were, you know, waiting to meet them. I was in a fight with Brenna, my friend Brenna, earlier that week about whether or not Egypt was in Africa. Now I know what you're thinking. Who is stupid enough to have that argument? Me and Brenna are. I was right though. Egypt is in fact in Africa. We were arguing about that and I was like, you know, a spur of the moment to try to like be funny. I was like, I'll ask IM5 that question. And like, So I did. I have a video somewhere. If I can find it, I'll put it in. Me and my friend Laura got to the venue and we were waiting. And I had said to my friend Laura that I was going to be asking them if Egypt was in Africa. And she was like, well, no, it's not. It's in the Middle East. And I said, no, it's not at all. And we started arguing. And then their manager, Jill, was like, oh, are you girl, like, can I help you settle a debate or something? And I was like, yes, you can. Thank you. Is Egypt in Africa? Dana Vons, who is my age, I'm so embarrassed. He looked at me like I was literally the stupidest person alive. Like, genuinely stupid. And Jill went, yeah, it's in Africa. To act like, I mean, I was the one that said Egypt is in fact in Africa. But so that he didn't think I was stupid, I turned to my friend and I said, I told you. And then I took my camera, my little like Nikon camera that was like this big because I didn't have a phone yet, or I didn't have an iPhone or a smartphone. Like, I have a question. Is Egypt in Africa? And they were like, I don't know. Like, is it? And then they were like, why? And I was like, because like 3 of my friends think it's in the Middle East. And one of them was like, well, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, I was really angry about it. That was the first time I met them. The second time I met them was later that year in August. And I don't think they remembered me. And I am so grateful for that because that is, why would I ask somebody that? I was like 15 when this happened, freshman year of high school. And then it was, I think maybe 2 days before school started. So I was going to be a sophomore in high school the second time I met them. I went with Brenna and our other friend, and I feel so stupid after, now I feel stupid about it, but I misread the ticket, thought that the meet and greet started an hour after it did, so we completely missed it by the time we got there, and they were already almost done with all the sound checks for the show. And I saw Jill, their manager, and I was like, guys, that's their manager. We should go talk to her because, like, we spent money on the meet and greet, and, like, I don't want to not meet them. And we had bought them presents, like, we went up to Jill and we were like, hey, we missed the meet and greet. We thought it was later. Is there any possible way we can meet the boys? Like, we were really looking forward to it, and we're really big fans. And she was like, oh yeah, just let me get them onto the bus, and then I'll come back and get you. No problem. And we were like, cool, awesome. Thank you so much. I think maybe a half an hour passed, and she hadn't come back for us yet. And I was starting to, like, get a little bit anxious. We're like, all right, let's just go get merch and then we'll figure it out from there. And at the merch table happened to be Joni Vaughns, aka Dana's mother, who is in the band. Dana is. I was like, that's Dana's mom. We should, you know, I got you. We went up to her. I did buy merch. I was like, I know you're Dana's mom. We missed meet and greet and we're really big fans and we bought them presents. Is there any possible way that we can meet them? Like, I also got a selfie with Joni Vaughn, so I'm gonna put that here too. She's so nice, by the way, and I think she follows me on Twitter. At this point, they had David with them. Anyway, Joni was very, very sweet to us and was like, oh yeah, like, I'll text Jill and, like, whatever. And then Jill came and got us, and we went outside, and it was almost like a, like, private meet and greet. I feel so blessed that that happened to me. Like, me and my poor reading skills really was a blessing in disguise. We met them, and I talked to them about how the music helped me and whatever. I was talking to them about, like, you know, how I had a cleft lip and palate, and how I had started a club for to raise money for them, and they were so nice. Both times I met them, they were so incredibly nice to me. And I remember, the one thing I really remember is Will kept hugging us. So, like, one person would hug us, and then he would come back around and hug us, and then another person would hug us, and then he would come back around and hug us. And he was so sweet. Like, also, he is way taller than I thought he was going to be. Like, the first time I met them, I remember being really shook over how tall he was. I'll put a picture of me and I'm 5 here too. After I talked to them about Cleft Lip and Palate and Operation Smile and the club that I started at my school, they were like, wow, you're so amazing, like, keep making people smile. Every encounter that I've had with a celebrity thus far has been really good and nice. To be fair, I met I'm 5 and 5 Seconds of Summer is the last person the last group I'm gonna talk about. They were at meet and greets. I didn't, like, just casually meet them in the street. So I forgot to mention that I did meet Little Mix as well. I met them at a CD signing, and I got Glory Days signed. When I went up there, they told me that they liked my makeup and they thought it was pretty, and I almost cried. And every time I'm sad, I really just watch that video again. So this next one that I'm talking about is, like, I cannot believe that I met them. Like, I genuinely can't believe I just happened to run into them. Citizen 4 is the next one. I was in California. It was my first time in LA, and I wanted to, you know, be a little bit touristy. We went on a celebrity bus, like a TMZ Hollywood, or maybe it was Access Hollywood, I don't remember. Are they stupid? Yes, they are. But I went on one anyway. So I was like, maybe I'll meet a celebrity, like, that'll be fun. Didn't really expect it to happen. I was like, knowing my luck, it ain't gonna happen. We were like in bumper to bumper traffic trying to take a right onto Hollywood Boulevard. They were on this side of the bus, like on the right side on the sidewalk, and my mom was on that side. So it went my mom, I think it was my two cousins that I was with, and then me. I was on this side, and I was more focused on the YouTubers that were like kind of swarming. I didn't really know who they were. The only reason they caught my attention is because one of them went, "This is Cameron Dallas's editor," and then they were like, "He's on Disney Channel," and I was like, wow, good for you. My mom like was like, "Oh, they look famous, like they look like they're doing something," which, to be fair, they look famous in LA is, everybody looks famous. And my mom was like, "Who are you?" Like, curious. And one of them went, "Oh, Justin Bieber." And then my mom was like, "Oh, haha." And I think it was their PR person, maybe. She was like, "Oh, it's Citizen4." And my mom turned to me and went, "Livy, Citizen4?" And I went, "I love Citizen4." We yelled at the bus driver and we were like, "Stop the bus!" So he did, and he pulled over. And I got out and met them, and they were so nice. We just kind of like chatted about who, like, me and them, and they were like, "Oh, do you sing?" And I was like, "Oh, kind of." And I, like, for some reason just didn't cross my mind that I had a whole YouTube channel of me singing. I'm gonna put the picture of me and Citizen4 right here. The fifth and the final one, I've told this story before, is when I met 5 Seconds of Summer. We were going to Kiss concert. We already had the tickets. We had pretty good seats, and Kiss 108 had said they were giving out free meet and greet tickets to people who showed up in the parking lot around like 2 in the afternoon. They were starting. And we went at 3, I think, because it was starting at 4. And I was so convinced that I was going to meet Five Sauce, and nobody else believed in me. We walked over to the tent, and I genuinely thought I was gonna have to like pull some tears and be like, "I have surgery in 2 days, my 13th, and 5 Seconds of Summer have really helped me out with this, so please let me meet them." Didn't actually have to do that, thank goodness. That was kind of bad. Before we even reached the tent, there were 2 girls that came up to us that worked for Kiss 108, and they were like, "Hey, can we interview you for social media?" And I was like, "Of course you can." And they were like, "Alright, so who are you here to see?" I was like, "Oh, I'm here to see Five Sauce, or we're here to see Five Sauce." It was me and Amber, my roommate, and one of my very good friends. And they were like, "What's your favorite song?" Stuff like that. And then they were like, how would you feel if we gave you free meet and greet tickets? And I think at that point I still didn't really know what was happening. And then they were like, "Well, we're gonna give you tickets." And I was like, "Oh." We got in line, and by true Five Sauce fashion, they were late. We got into the thing, and I totally was so starstruck, and I didn't say anything that I wanted to say to them. In fairness, we had like 2 seconds, like we weren't even allowed to hug them, which I was heartbroken by. We got in there, and I completely lost all sense of anything. Very limited words came out of my mouth. And Michael was the first one, and then it was Ashton, and then it was Callum, and then Luke. Ashton and Michael were both like, "Oh, I love your shirt," because it was, you know, 5 Seconds of Summer. I did not remember what shirt I was wearing, so I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then I looked down and I was like, "Oh, thank you so much, I love you." That was it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content. If you've ever met any of your favorite celebrities, let me know down in the comments and tell me the story. If you want to follow my social media, all the links will be in the description below, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye!